When we left off on the last clip, though you can see here the foundation isn't showing. I'm going to just back up here a little bit. And what's going on here is that we have a crop region that we're not seeing, and that's the section crop. So I'm just going to turn on the crop region to be visible, excuse me, and then open this up until we can see to the bottom of it. Another thing I noticed on this drawing is this second level is actually a little bit misplaced. So I'm going to change, because that would make our top floor a little too high. So I'm going to just change this to 11 feet, because we've got to take into consideration a little bit of floor thickness. We want our first floor usually to be a little bit taller than the second stories. Anyway, so with those adjustments, we're really ready to look at now building out enough of a volume of a building where we can add some floors and other elements in the roof in. So let's go to the let's go to a new 3D view. This 3D view that I'm going to click to has a section box on it. Actually, we can just turn the section box off. And I'm going to delete this, and we're going to start all over again building now our stacked wall that we've developed. So it'll only take a minute to do this. So we'll get a custom stacked wall. We'll make sure it's hooked to level 1. We know we want it to sit with the foundation, a 4-foot foundation and a foot floor thickness to be -5 feet. And we want the top to be connected to the top of plate. So we can start drawing here. We'll go, let's say 28 feet. We'll go back 50 feet, and we'll make sure we're snapping to 90. And I'm having a little hard time hitting 50. And I think that was 28. And come back. And that doesn't seem right. Oh, yep, there we go. I think that was because of the snap to the center of the wall. And actually we can turn, so now we have our 4 sides. We can turn our section box back on again. And it's going to come back to the plane level. So let's go ahead and add a couple of floor surfaces in. So I'm going to go to Architecture, Floor. We'll grab a generic floor, 12 inches, and we're going to go ahead and modify those. But we'll start with those. And we will make it to level 1. And we'll use the idea of a room bounding box. So we're going to pick walls. And I typically won't say this about cutting and joining the geometry. Cut overlapping volume out of the walls. Well, let's try that and see what it looks like. I'm going to go yes, because I'm now going to look at what the section looks like of that. So let's click now to the section view. And I forgot that we hadn't actually adjusted our section. So somewhere our wall is in here. There it is. Actually, we're at the back of it now. Let's go to the front. You can see what's going on here. We have our floor deck moving across here. Let me stretch it out so we can see the whole width of the building. We're actually taking a section cut now through the whole building we've looked at. And it's really not affecting, cutting into this wall surface. We're going to go back and do some modifications to this in a little bit. Let's go now back to our 3D view. Let's put our second floor in. I'm going to grab the floor tool again. We're going to use exact same floor, but we're going to connect it to level 2. And we'll do the pick walls again. Whoops, I don't know why we're on level 1. Let's see what goes on there. Well, there it is, it's correct. And let's go ahead and put a ceiling in now. Ceiling, wants to save the project. And we really want, well, we can pick a generic one and then modify it. And we really want this to be connected to that idea of top of plate. And let's offset it from the top of the plate 1 foot. And I think I want that to go down. And we'll see that when we look at it in the section view. And we'll go ahead and it says automatic ceiling. Sketch ceiling, that's what I want. And we can go ahead and pick walls again. Oh, and that was stuck on level 1, and we really wanted it to be on top of plate. So I've gone ahead and adjusted that. Now we have a ceiling plane in there. And the last thing we need is a roof. We'll do a roof by footprint. We really want it to be at the top of plate. Let's see what we're set. We're a generic roof, plumb cut. Let's give it a little bit of an overhang. We'll give it a 2-foot overhang. And it it doesn't want to join that, so we're going to continue and join the lines together. And close that off. And it doesn't look right because our bounding box has got us cropped there, our section box. So let's go ahead now and see what that all looks like in section view. I'm going to open this up a little bit so we can see what we got here. Alright, so we have our whole, and we're not going to use this in our drawing. We really only want to develop a wall section in this project, but I did want to put the roof on so we can see what's kind of going on with this idea of the wall condition. The idea here is that would be a cutout for the rafter. It's called a bird's mouth. And there's the top of our ceiling plane. So we're well on our way to having many of the details we need for the wall section. Let's go back to the 3D view again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our section box here. I'm going to actually move this up so the roof looks normal. And I'm going to pull the section box back a little bit. And we don't have any windows in here. I'm going to put a couple of windows in right away. I'm just trying to trim up this section box a little bit so it's manageable. And let's go ahead and just put a few windows in so we can get the idea of what they look like just as we had before. So we're going to use our custom window, set our sill height at 3 feet, and there we are at the first floor one, and we'll put another one on the second floor. Let's see how I can line that up. Not quite sure how that assumed it's up at 7 feet. Let's just change it to 8. And let's go to I think that'll be the south elevation. And it does look like they're aligned. Okay, so now we can go ahead and take that section cut again. Or we can adjust our section cut. Let's see if we can see if it's visible here. I'm going to go back to level 1. And there's our section marker. So you can see what's going on here. Our section marker is way out of place. I'm going to just move this way down here. We want to get it back over that area where the windows are. So I'm going to grab its tool handles, and I'm going to pull this all down so it's a little more manageable. And we're going to pull this back until we're cutting right through the center of our windows the way we want to. And let's take a peek at that now. Okay, so now there's our bounding box that we made, and there's our section all the way through. I'll make a little adjustment here so it's not quite as tall. And we can zoom in, and we can see we've got our foundation, we got our wall. We have our first floor here. Into our foundation area, so we're going to make a little bit of an adjustment to our drawing here. We have our second floor level up here. Actually, if we change this now to a realistic rendering, you can see all of the elements maybe a little more clearly. So we're well on our way to making our technical drawing for this. One more thing I want to do before we end this clip is add our footers to the foundations. So I'm going to go and create a new view just so we get to a 3D view that doesn't have a section box. There we go. Actually, it's using that same view. I would have had to delete that one to get rid of it. And let's go to, I think it's structure. And we want to that. And now we can go ahead and apply that. So let's go to a wall I wanted to apply it to. And I'm just clicking on the bottom of that wall, and I'm going to rotate all the way around to the other side here, and I'll zoom in so you can see what's going. So right now I am in, I'll go back to structure. I want a wall foundation, and I brought one in. So I'm selecting that one, and now I'm just clicking on the bottom of the wall, and it's automatically adding that what's called a footer at the bottom of the foundation. So I've added it to all sides. I didn't need to, but it makes the full drawing look better. And we'll go to the section now. And now we can see we have a footer sitting at the bottom of our foundation wall. So that was plenty to do for this one clip. So I'll end this, and we'll get back to looking at some of the details in this on the next clip.